The art of crafting a shot is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 15 minutes or less, starting now. Hello everyone, welcome. So today's topic is going to be talking about the lost art of crafting. Now, that was a topic they would teach in schools like Brooks, Rochester Institute of Technology, any of the main photography classes. They would always talk about crafting a shot, and people misunderstand crafting with setting up the shot. It's totally different. What we're going to talk about is crafting, meaning you're shooting for intention and you're shooting for a specific reason, and you're building everything you're doing with that. So I'm going to use a landscape to craft a shot for a postcard. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we are. Now, the original image, let's see if I can show you here. Yeah, here it is. So here's the original image. Now, when this image was shot, now I did take this from Unsplash, so I'll give Tim a shout out. I cropped it in such a way because I wanted the lighthouse on the right third. Now, think of this as, let's say, a postcard, or a better example. What gave me the idea was my sister, her boyfriend, his sister gave her a thank you card, and she's an artist. She drew this amazing painting, and then she had it printed and all this other stuff, and on the back of it, it was a thank you note. So my sister looked at it and said, "Oh, this is beautiful." Didn't realize she was the artist until she saw on the very bottom her name. And she goes, "Wait a second, did you paint this?" Yes, and it was amazing. So that's what gave me this idea. So imagine this is something you want to give either as a postcard, or you want to use this as a thank you to somebody, or maybe at Christmas or one of the holidays, you put this as the letter or the label to give to someone. That's the beauty of your photography. You could do it with the images you already have, or you can go back and think, okay, well, I'm on vacation here. I want to give all my friends and families, I want them to share what I'm doing. This is a great way of doing it. All right. So now that we understand that, let me start from here. And all I did here was I created a virtual copy. So now I have the original here. All right. And let's see, got a little too far. 1 second. There we go. All right. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to take all of this and let's see, revert to original. So here's the original image. Now, my good friend Renee, what I did was this, and this right here is the link. I used his painting presets, not presets, they were overlays and skies. So I used his from our Luminar Marketplace to help me craft this a little bit better. So in my mind, if I shot this, this is how I would frame it. Then you have to ask yourself, well, what size is a postcard? Typically, postcards are 4 by 6 by 4 by 6s. Well, in the US, I can get away with a postcard, which is bigger, 5 inches by 3.5 inches. So let's use that. All right. So if you were going to mail this, that's what you can do. And the reason why I'm picking that is if I were to send this off to a printer, the printer is going to be able to stack them on the page, and I'm going to get the most prints out of a single sheet, and it's going to cost me a lot less. So again, here's, in my mind, I'm crafting the final output. This is what I want. Now that I have the size ready, let's do the quick edits, all right? So I love this image here. Now, I did come in and, like I showed you before, let me get to my photography. Under my photography, I have assets. Under assets, under textures, right here is where I got the images from. Where are we? textures, assets, actually, oh, you know what? That's not my E drive. Here we go, D drive. Sorry about that. Here we are. Got it? Now I'm going to go into my assets and textures. And there we are, right? For my good buddy Renee. I'm going to double click. And then, of course, when you download these, you'll have the README files that you can check it out. So he did something pretty cool. These are the textures that he picked. All right, and I already selected one. And when I selected it, it's going to appear right over here. All right, well, that's great. But what he also did, which was really cool, is I'm going to replace this sky. So here's Sky AI. And if you notice, right in here, I have Renee's right here, all of his images right there. Now, how did I do that? Well, I went to show custom skies, and let me pull this over for you. These are all your custom skies. So instead of adding them one by one, you can open this up, and all I did here was I copied and pasted what I downloaded from Marketplace, and I put them here, and here's Renee's skies, his painting skies. So now they're part of my Luminar collection. So now all I need to do at this point is decide which sky do I like. So I'm going to come in, and here's Renee, and I believe I used this one. Oh, I like that. Let's see what this one does. That's too much. That's another nice one. So it's between these two. Let's see what this one looks like. Actually, you know what? I like that one better. So let's use this one. Now that I have that set, now I'm going to use his textures. And let's see all of them. So I believe I used this texture. Well, you know what? Doesn't matter. Oh, that looks nice. I'm going to make this fill. So I want it to fill the entire screen. Well, that looks good. But I do know I have to change the overlay. Yeah, there we go. Overlay looks good. Soft light looks good. Hard light's a little too much. You know what? Let's go with, I like overlay. So here's overlay. That's 100%. That's a little too crazy. Let's dial it back. Ooh, I like it right about there. All right, now let's add another texture. All right, and I believe I did this one. Yeah, I did. All right, same thing. Let's first of all change it. Yeah, soft light looks good, and I do want to fill it. There we are. And let's go to 100% so we can see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm going to dial it back. Right about here. All right. Now that I have this set, I mean, look how simple that was. All right. Now I could even come in later. I won't do this right now, but I could come in, and this was a shot that we took when I was in Iceland. So if I have this image here, I could just take that image, move it to the bottom, and then start crafting it again. But look how simple that is. All right. But let's just get rid of that for now. I'll remove it. So now that I have this set, I'm looking at this right here, the roof, and I love what it's doing here. But you know what? I want to come in, and I'm going to go to color, and let's use hue and saturation. I'm going to select the saturation of the red. Yeah, look at that. Much better. I like that much. I love what it's doing to the roof. I don't like what it's doing too much to the bottom. So now that I have that set, masking, brush, let's erase it. I'm going to go, not at 100%, I'm going to go to maybe what, 40, 48, 50, and just lower this part down here. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. There we go. All right, let's see if it makes a difference. Yeah, look at that. That looks really good. Now, again, I'm on this layer. I'm not messing with these two here. I can come in with structure, and let's see if structure is going to help me. Yeah, structure is going to really bring it out a little bit more. Now, I have to decide, do I only want it on the lighthouse in the bottom, or do I want it on the sky? So why don't we do this? Let's do Mask AI, and I'm going to select the sky, and I know I don't want the sky to have that structure, so I'm just going to come in and invert it. There we go. So everything but the sky received that structure appearance. So let's see if it makes a difference. Yeah, look at that. I like it. Maybe the bottom's a little too aggressive, so we'll erase it a little bit down here, and let's see. Yeah, there we go. So you see how it's taking shape, and again, you could decide how you want this to look, but how neat is this? Now, you could, on the back of it, in a program like, let's say, a Canva or somewhere where you could type in text, on the back of this, I could actually give the history of that lighthouse in a small side of it. Maybe put a little thank you note off to the right. That's entirely up to you. If you are doing this for Christmas or a gift that you want to give to somebody, make sure you sign your name on it. You know, and you could do it after the fact, or you could do it during. That's entirely up to you. But obviously, a black felt marker would be great. How neat would this be? To where you're giving this to your family and friends, all right? But this is the concept. When you're crafting, you're not only taking the pictures and you're thinking, I want to shoot with intention. When you're done, I want to edit with intention. What is the look I want to give? In this case here, I wanted the painting look. And again, just so you know, I want to give a shout out to Renee, because again, I could have done it my way. It would have taken a long time to create the clouds, the painting, and all that stuff along with the textures. It's all right there. And like I said, we could not only, once we create the look, I can go back in and, like I just showed you here, I could just pick another image. And this one, of course, for those that know me, I love these puffins. We shot this in Iceland. I could take this and bring it down here. And we could do the same thing. I can come in to the sky replacement. Let's see if it'll recognize that as the sky. Oh, it did. Well, nope, it went a little overboard. So, because that's not technically a sky in the background, so of course it's not going to recognize it. So there's other ways of doing it, but I actually like it like this. And then what I could also do is duplicate this layer, bring it to the top. We talked about this as a sandwich method, mask, excuse me, and then this time, instead of any of the portrait stuff, I'm going to use select an object, and I just want to select my puffin. And now look at this. Boom. Now the puffin stands out. So if I hide this layer, that's what it looks like. It looks dull. But now I just did the sandwich method, where I took the bottom part. I want the background as is, but there's that puffin. And then, of course, I can come in. If that's too much, I could dial it down a bit. Or what I like to do is leave it the way it is, but then brush, erase on the layer. Let's go right about here and just erase the bottom half. There we go. So the face stays beautiful in focus, not in focus, but a little more details and more contrast. And then the bottom just fades into the painting. All right? So I hope that helped you guys understand crafting. And here's what's neat. Really, really good friends of mine, Bobby Lane and Lee Varis, they're icons in the photo industry. She talked about crafting. I think she was a graduate from Brooks, and she said it's a lost art. That a lot of the interns nowadays don't really understand what crafting means. So Bobby and Lee, they're actually going to be going to Nova Scotia, if any of you are interested. And here is their link. So if you want to spend time with them, you're more than welcome to. Again, I got the idea of crafting from my good friend Bobby. She's just a wealth of knowledge. I love, love, love both of them to death. And that gives you an idea there. Now, I also want to share with you one of my moderators, Dale from Dodge, Burn, and Learn. he just announced that Apple is coming up with a new operating system. And not operating. Dale, I'm sorry, chime in real quick. Is it an operating system, Dale?
Yeah, the new operating system with the different chips and the impact.
Perfect. So with the new chips and stuff, what Dale's going to do is give a special presentation on it, and it's going to be telling what it means and how it's going to affect your Luminar Neo. So you can check that QR code there, and I also have this QR code right there. All right. So from chaos to clarity. So I thank him for this. Again, it's a free. You could check it out, and I can't thank my friends enough, because when you guys start doing education stuff like this, it takes the load off of me. So thank you, both of you, very much for that. All right. So I hope that helped you. And again, if you're watching this, please, here right now, stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. For everyone else, I can't thank you enough for joining us, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.